Hey, and welcome back. I've been fortunate to work directly with XVive over the last 2 years or so, and honestly, I was a customer of theirs long before I ever got the chance to collaborate with them on this channel. I've been a huge fan of their in-ear monitor units for years, as they're affordable, reliable, and very convenient for someone like me. In 2024, they've released a couple new products, one of which I've already reviewed on the channel, their PX System personal monitoring mixer, and the other one is right here. So let's go ahead and open this up and take a look. So today we're going to be checking out their U7 saxophone and trumpet wireless system. Now, I know this probably seems extremely ironic since I'm a drummer and this channel is pretty much all about drums. But in addition to being a drummer, I'm also a band leader, which means oftentimes I have responsibilities for running sound and making sure the group has everything they need to get through a show. I play in a variety of bands that use horns, whether it be a funk wedding band with a horn section, traditional jazz big band music where there's 10 to 12 horn players, or small group jazz with trios, quartets, and everything else in between. I was excited about trying this because for me, XVive's greatest asset is how convenient their systems are. Instead of having rack mountable wireless rigs and worrying about changing batteries, these are often just small plug-in adapters that you can throw in your pocket, plug into a mixer, recharge with a USB cable, and so they've been really good for what I need. What I will say is that obviously if you're in a touring band or doing bigger things, something like this may not be for you, but for those out there working and hustling small bar gigs or anything else in their local community, these products have been really great. So let's go ahead and open one up and take a look what we have here. Some XVive products come with a case, and sometimes you have to buy it separately, but I just think it really adds value when you include a case and packaging to hold everything. And as we get into the case here, we've got a mesh pouch up top to hold some cables and other pieces, looks like a windscreen maybe, along with all the literature, quick start guide, manual, maybe registration for a warranty. And then here in the main pocket, we've got some fitted compartments for all of the different pieces here. So here's our actual mic. It's on a small gooseneck. And it comes with a little windscreen, which I'm just gonna throw on right away. And then this mic has what looks like an 1/8 inch plug that would go into a receiver here. And what I really like about this is this plug also has a threaded screw on there to tighten it on. So this isn't just gonna come unplugged while you're playing. You're gonna have to actively do this. Now, I can't really see how this clips on. Oh, here we go. So here's the clip, and this can slide right up into this receiver. And now you've got a hook to conveniently put this on a sax bell or trumpet bell. Trombone as well, I'm sure. And then honestly, since I do have this in my possession right now, I might be inclined to try it on a drum and see how it works. Here's the, I guess I would call this the transmitter, but they call this the receiver. Either way, the part that goes with you and the part that goes to the soundboard. And this is very similar to all of XVive's other wireless units. You power it on and you have a few different settings here, different frequencies you can operate on. My guess is these are the same frequencies from their in-ear monitor units or their other wireless mic units, which is very limiting because I play in a horn band with 8 or 9 people at times, and a bunch of us have adopted using the XVive in-ear monitor units. Right now we're okay with 6, and honestly it's very convenient because multiple headphone units can be set to channel 5, and we'll have one receiver for that shared mix for 2 musicians. My worry here is that if we're using all those and using these, we're really limiting the amount of different things we can use on one stand. Now, that's not a big deal for all of you, and for most of the applications I'll have for something like this, I think I'll be okay. Now, obviously, I want to make sure the quality of this is up to snuff for what I would need it for, but really, my testing of it's going to come on the bandstand with the various groups I play. I'm glad I got these opened up today because I actually have a gig tonight with a jazz trio downtown in the park. Typically for a jazz trio like this, I wouldn't need to mic a horn, but since we are playing outside and we need to project through the entire park, I think our saxophone player will appreciate having this with him. On Saturday this weekend, I have a wedding with my band, the Pocket Kings, and luckily, the folks at XVive were kind enough to send me 2 of these, so I'm gonna try it with our sax player and our trumpet player, and that's the group where we're also using their wireless in-ear unit. At the end of next week, I have a monthly big band gig that I play, and that's a setting where I think something like this could be really helpful because sometimes we like to have a solo mic for the various solos throughout the evening, but that mic needs to get moved around from third trumpet to second tenor to first trombone and across the section. So what I'm thinking is that something like this where we could just clip on a bell and put it appropriately when you're about to solo and then pass it on for the next tune, this could be really convenient in a big band setting. All right, so it's been like maybe 2 weeks since I first opened up one of these units, and I think I can give you my thoughts now that I've been able to use them on a few different gigs. So on the first gig, the jazz trio gig in the park, this was excellent. It was super convenient to set up. I didn't even need a cable. I could just plug this right into the back of our PA system. The sound was clear, consistent, and the signal never dropped out for the 90 minutes we performed for. The saxophone player really loved working with this, and honestly, he was already hitting me up about how he could get one for himself. Now after that, I brought it to a wedding band gig with an 8-piece band where we had 2 horns, and I was able to use both of these for our sax player and our trumpet player. And the process of setting it up again was fairly simple. Everything went smoothly. I did test them out during our sound check and everything seemed fine. But when we got into the actual performance, we had a lot of issues with connectivity and the signal dropping out. Basically, with that group, we have anywhere from 3 to 4 people who will use the XVive U4 wireless in-ear packs. And on that gig, I kept it to 2 because I personally didn't use one because I didn't want to interfere with these as it's a product I'm not super familiar with. But even with that, with 2 in-ear packs and then the 2 of these wireless horn mics, we're only using 4 of 6 available frequencies. So it was just kind of a disappointment because in the end at set break, our sax player just switched over to his corded mic because it was becoming too much of an issue for him. I did talk to XVive and they did confirm that the 6 channels on these devices are the same 6 frequencies as the in-ear monitor packs, other wireless microphones. So I guess the lesson I'm learning with this is that if you really want to get into the XVive ecosystem, there's definitely a cap on how much you can use at any one given time. Meaning, even though there's 6 channels here, that's not reliably 6 channels that are always going to work. So it's like, maybe you have 3 or 4 really that you can be using simultaneously. I'm a huge fan of XVive. I've never had any issues with their wireless in-ear monitor pack, and I've been using it for probably like 4 years. But that wedding band setting was where I was most excited to use these on, and that seemed to be the one where it just couldn't really work out. Now, not to be too down about this, when I brought them to the big band gig the next week and used this for soloists throughout the night, because it's mostly an acoustic ensemble, there's no in-ear packs or a lot of other wireless signals traveling, these worked great. And it was super convenient because a sax player can just clip this on their horn, and then when they don't have a solo or it goes down the line, they can just send it over. It can rest on a music stand, it can be clipped on a stand. So it was very convenient for that. I guess the moral of the story here is just be cautious as you get into using more and more of these products simultaneously. If you're a local musician playing at bars and clubs and you're the only one or one of a few people using a wireless device like this, I wouldn't anticipate any problems and I wouldn't have any hesitation recommending this to you. But if you're doing anything on a more grand scale with a number of different wireless instruments, I think you need to be thorough in making sure this is going to work in your setting. To wrap it up, I just want to say that I think XVive is doing a great job at carving out a niche for themselves in wireless pro audio, and I'm a huge fan of what they're doing, and I'm excited to see what they come up with next. If you're interested in buying this, I'll have some affiliate links down below that you can check out, and I hope this video was helpful to you, and see you next time.